You're watching Carlton at the heart of the ITV network. Now the news.
Channel 4 to face government complaint over paedophilia programme. New clashes as Israeli police storm sacred site. And Formula 1 goes flying at the start of the German Grand Prix.
From ITN, the ITV Weekend News with Andrea Catherwood.
Good evening. Channel 4 will tomorrow receive a complaint from the Culture Secretary Tessa Jowell over its satirical programme about paedophilia. She's furious at the decision to screen the show Brass Eye, which a fellow minister has branded unbelievably sick. But Channel 4 is strongly defending the programme, claiming it had a real sense of social purpose. John Ray reports.
Welcome to Paedogeddon.
It was meant to provoke, and it succeeded. The TV spoof on child abuse and media hysteria, condemned today by no fewer than 3 ministers.
They're safe tonight. Are yours?
And the way it portrayed the issue of paedophilia and sexual abuse against children in general was actually really quite sickening. I think, paedophilia is and must be seen as a crime, not as a source of entertainment.
Channel 4 insists they've missed the programme maker's point.
Chris Morris was not making light of paedophilia. His target was the dangerous sensationalism and exploitation that can characterise media coverage of the issue.
The TV station claims it's a savage satire on the kind of protests seen in Portsmouth last year, a time when newspapers were running name and shame campaigns. Children's charities aren't convinced.
For Channel 4 to pretend that this program somehow actually helped the debate and was more virtuous, for example, than the News of the World campaign, is absolutely ludicrous. They were both wrong.
Culture Secretary Tessa Jowell is angry the show was repeated before TV regulators could check whether codes of conduct were breached. She wants the watchdog to react more swiftly in future.
And tomorrow the Minister will tell Channel 4 in person just how appalled she was by the programme. But there's no big confrontation here, no change in broadcast law is planned. And critics will point out that the only thing guaranteed by the row is more publicity for the programme. John Ray, ITN at Channel 4 headquarters.
The Middle East conflict spread to one of Israel's most controversial religious sites today as police stormed the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. They launched the raid after Palestinians threw rocks and stones at Jews worshipping at the nearby Wailing Wall. Here's our Middle East correspondent, John Irvine.
Today, Palestinians threw stones from one of Jerusalem's holy sites into another. Their missiles were directed at Jewish worshippers praying at the Wailing Wall. Some of them cowered under the wall, but many others fled as the stones rained down. Israeli security forces responded by storming the neighbouring compound. A place of Muslim worship, it's also revered by Jewish people. It is the most contested part of the old city.
6 Palestinians have been injured by Israeli soldiers. This is an emotion-laden place, and the violence is sure to lead to some kind of reaction.
In the West Bank town of Ramallah, Palestinian gunmen fought Israeli soldiers. For a time, Israeli tanks were deployed in Palestinian-controlled territory. Several of the combatants were injured during the gun battle. The disturbances in Jerusalem led to other confrontations in places like Hebron. The ceasefire is in name only, and the conflict here simmers on. John Irvine, ITN, Jerusalem.
MPs and business leaders in Bradford have reacted angrily to news that some police officers involved in the riots there are to seek millions of pounds in compensation. The officers say they were left traumatised after trying to stop Asian and white youths rampaging through the town. But some local people are worried it may make dealing with future disturbances more difficult. Police are tonight waiting to interview the mother of 3 young children who drowned when their car plunged into a lake in Bedfordshire. Imran and Aaron Khan and their half-sister Charla Blair were trapped underwater for an hour and a half as rescuers struggled to get them out. Police say it looks like a tragic accident. Juliette Bremner reports.
The mother who lost her 3 children at this beauty spot is still too traumatised to speak to police. She's being comforted by relatives after witnessing the deaths. 6-year-old Imran Khan and his 5-year-old brother Aaron died alongside their 2-year-old half-sister Charla Blair.
Well, I seen the family this morning and clearly they're extremely distraught, unconsolable. Your heart goes out to them. The mother's lost her 3 young babies yesterday and she hasn't come to terms with it. And we actually haven't been able to get a first account of her knowledge of what happened yesterday.
The family from Luton had been on a day out by the lake near Hitchin in Bedfordshire when their estate car plunged into the water. Although the mother, her partner and another man escaped, it was an hour and a half before the children were freed. The disused quarry is supposed to be out of bounds to vehicles, but scrambling bikes and cars frequently race around the nearby fields. Yet those who know the site well are still at a loss to explain how such a catastrophe could have occurred.
A detailed examination of the car won't begin until tomorrow, but at the moment it seems unlikely that any charges will be brought against the driver. And police say that their initial investigations suggest that these deaths were the result of a tragic accident. Juliette Bremner, ITN, Arlesey, Bedfordshire. Railtrack could face prosecution over the Hatfield crash in which 4 people died. Detectives who've investigated the disaster have sent a file on the case to the Crime Prosecution Service. The CPS says it will make a decision on whether to charge managers with corporate manslaughter in the next few weeks. The Schumachers are celebrating tonight after a triumphant German Grand Prix. Younger brother Ralph won the race, while Michael, despite crashing out, now looks almost certain to win the Drivers' Championship. But the race nearly ended in disaster after a first-lap pile-up. Guy Pitt watched the action.
Ferrari's Michael Schumacher had hoped to equal Alain Prost's record of 51 Grand Prix victories in front of his many fans at Hockenheim today. But it was the worst of starts for the German driver as Luciano Berti went straight into the back of his failing Ferrari. Amazingly, none of the drivers involved was hurt. When the race was restarted, Juan Pablo Montoya quickly capitalised on his pole position and forged ahead. But in the sweltering heat, car after car failed. McLaren's Mika Hakkinen had his hopes dashed by a leaking radiator. Michael Schumacher knew he wouldn't be equalling Alain Prost's record when he had to pull up. David Coulthard followed shortly after. Even Montoya, who led convincingly for most of the race, was eventually forced out. Instead, it was the other Schumacher, Ralph, who took the checkered flag in front of an adoring home crowd. Celebrations then for the 3rd win of his career, another sign that he may truly be emerging from his elder brother's shadow. Guy Pitt, ITN Sport.
Finally, Britain is cooling down tonight after what, for many places, has been the hottest day of the year. Temperatures in some parts of the country hit 32 degrees Celsius, that's 90 Fahrenheit. With many people heading for the coast, the heat wave has helped to boost British tourism. Hotel owners in many areas are reporting they're fully booked. Well, that's it from me and from all the ITV Weekend News team. Have a very good night. Goodbye.
Gas, electricity and telephone.
Hello, good evening. It really has been quite a weekend. Temperatures back up into the 30s in parts of the south again today, and the southern half of England and Wales is going to stay very warm for the next few days. It's a bit more changeable further north. The northern half of Britain will see some weather fronts around through Tuesday and Wednesday with some showery outbreaks of rain, and temperatures there are getting back towards normal. Now, we've had one weak weather front moving south today, hardly any cloud on it, but it has introduced cooler air across the northern half of Britain, so a comfortably cool night there. In the far south, though, it's still hot and sticky. At least there's a bit of a breeze around tonight, so opening your window may help a little tonight in the south, but it's still going to be hot and sticky. And then for tomorrow, a dry day for most, some good sunny spells through the day, a bit misty around the coasts and hills in the west perhaps, and then later in the day there's a patch of cloud to come into the northwest, and that may well bring some drizzle to end the day, but it will be late in the day before it gets there. For most of us, it's bright right through daylight hours. And pretty warm too. Temperatures getting back to normal in the north now, so it's high teens or low 20s in the north. In the south, the hot weather is hanging on. 28 is 82. Good night.
Power Gen. Gas, electricity and telephone.
Central Weather, sponsored by Stay Bright Windows and Conservatories. The clear choice in any weather.
Hello there. Well, it'll be dry through our region tonight with patchy cloud and clear spells. Also some patchy mist and fog in more rural parts forming towards dawn. That'll soon disperse though, so another fine dry start tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine popping up, and we'll see some good long spells of sun by the end of the afternoon. Just a bit cloudier in the north of the region, if anywhere. Dry and fine though really everywhere, and pretty good even in any cloud. Warmer the further south you are. 28 is 82. That's it. Bye-bye.
The Central 10-day weather line. 09063 66 60 66.
Care to escape with us on a trip around the world? Or boogie to the sounds of summers gone by? Or how about forgetting your troubles and take a look at GMTV moments we'd like to forget? Celebrate summer with GMTV all next week.
It's getting closer, Ali.
Yeah, closer to the action.
7 days a week from August the 11th with the brand new ITV Sport channel.
There's 45 live and exclusive UEFA Champions League.
82 live and exclusive nationwide football league.
And 15 live and exclusive Worthington Cup games.
Have you seen enough yet?
No, I want to see more! So the only place to watch the best action is on the brand new ITV Sport channel. To subscribe, call either of these numbers now or contact your pay TV channel supplier.
A controversial course in Christianity that claims to turn lives round comes under the spotlight next.